Hi and welcome to Film Waffle, and today the big news is out that they may well have found a new writer and director for the standalone Spider-Man movie. It was first released by the team over at Latino Review, and significantly, a large number of major outlets have leapt upon this story. And the news? It is that Drew Goddard is being courted for both jobs, both writer and director. But who is this guy, and is he a good choice for the Spider-Man series, a series which is in constant reboot? So the news is that Drew Goddard is being courted to both write and direct the new Spider-Man movie. Now I have to emphasise, this is strictly rumour mill at the moment, but it has got to the point where we need to know who Drew Goddard is and if he is any good for the Spider-Man franchise. And when I mean franchise, of course I mean yet another reboot, don't I? This time between Sony and Marvel, which for me just shows how worrying things have become creatively for Sony. As you probably know by now, both Sony and Marvel have struck a deal to make the Spider-Man movies together. Sony still has the final say, but Marvel is putting some creative direction in there. And the way that they've struck it is for £0 and 0 pence, but they're hoping that they will both benefit from the box office. Because Marvel will be able to use Spider-Man and Sony will be able to use Spider-Man for their own purposes, but creatively they're going to lock the vision together. And from my point of view, the fact that Sony says it has the final say, I think is largely academic. Now that's where Spider-Man currently stands. Drew Goddard was actually around in the Sony camp before this deal was struck. He was there to write the Sinister Six spin-off, which was going to be all about the Spider-Man villains. But if these rumours are true, then this takes that spin-off off the table and puts that storyline squarely into the new standalone Spider-Man movie, which is due out in 2017, where Spider-Man will have to take on the Sinister Six. That is at least according to some of the rumours from Latino Review. And with that film being off the table in its current form, that means they can do something different with Drew Goddard if he's willing to cooperate. And that is after Spider-Man puts in his first appearance, which is apparently meant to be in Captain America 3 Civil War. But although Goddard has been hired once already by Sony, you have to ask the question, is Goddard suitable? At the moment, most people probably don't know much about him. Well, first off, if he gets the job, he's going to be the writer first. He's got to put pen to paper before he starts talking to the crew about what they need to be doing and the actors about how they're going to portray the roles. You've got to write it first, yeah? And it's fair to say that he cut his teeth in Lost, Alias, and of course Buffy, for which he struck up a huge fan base for his work in Series 7. But we're here to talk about film, so what has he done in the movie sphere? Well, from my point of view, high up in the positives is The Cabin in the Woods. It's a film where he simultaneously toyed with the tropes of horror, but also used them to scare the audience. And for many of you, it's probably good news to know that he co-wrote that script with none other than Joss Whedon, who is well embedded in the Marvel camp at the moment. Of course, he's written 2 Avengers movies and he's directing them, but also he's got a hand in some of the other Marvel superhero movies that are coming out. He helps with a bit of on-the-spot script writing as well. And perhaps more famous still, Goddard also wrote Cloverfield. Okay, well that last point is good but not great, but he's also taken on some serious challenges. For the film World War Z, he helped step in and do some last-minute rewrites to the ending when the film hit a few bumps. Apparently, according to co-writer Damon Lindelof, the film had started off shooting without a proper ending to suit. Well, the two of them fixed that, and now it's a solid film. So it's probably fair to say that he's a bit of a mixed bag as a writer, but not in a bad way. He's great at some things, and then kind of the standard for others. And considering the mess that the Spider-Man franchise is currently in, I think that's a good thing. And as a director, he's only directed 1 film, but the fact that that film was also Cabin in the Woods is a great point for me, and that definitely swings things in his favour as far as I'm concerned. In terms of flourish, I think that Drew Goddard has a similar sort of feel to how he directs a film as Joss Whedon does as well, and I think that's great news because he can handle an ensemble and he can play with genre, and the sort of feel and everything is very professional. Watch Cabin in the Woods if you haven't already. It's a great film, and I think you'll agree with me in terms of his direction. It's very good, it's very slick, it's very competent, but it's also above standard, way above standard. In fact, I think it's fair to say that if you took Drew Goddard's name off and put Joss Whedon's on as director, I wouldn't have noticed. I would have just assumed, yes, it was Joss Whedon who directed this film. So to sum up, he's a great team player. He understands the language of genre, and he can certainly take on a challenge. And when that comes to Spider-Man and all the different people that are involved at the moment, that's going to be key. He's ideal for the job, I think. So I hope that the rumours are true, because if they are, they've got a good guy in place to help handle this franchise and take it on into something very special. Hi there, and thanks for watching Film Waffle. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also click subscribe as well so you get all the latest movie news when it happens.